Look at me messing up. Oh, let's see. Yeah, there we go. All right. How y'all doing tonight? You good? You straight? We'll have to watch when I get home. Absolutely. Brother Ash, bro. My man. Hope everything is going well with you. What to talk about today, man? I have no idea. We're going to shoot from the hip. You know, I usually try to shoot these, I usually try to start these at around 7. And somehow, something always stops me from starting on time. Now, what you have to understand about me is I'm a stickler for being on time. I'm a stickler for being on time. Yet somehow, when I get to these podcasts, I always seem to hop in late. Ironically, I'm always late, or that's hyperbole. I'm not always late, but I'm late a lot of times, but somehow I'm always right on time. You see, again, none of this is rehearsed. I'm not doing something from a script. This is all from the hip. It's very much like rolling the dice. What you roll will vary second to second. So, if you had rolled a 7 this time around, if you rolled a few seconds earlier, you wouldn't have. Why? Because your bodily mechanics and where everything was placed within your body, which necessarily affected and impacted the way you threw your arm, well, they were in a different position. Why do I mention that? Because if I start any earlier or any later, then you get a different show. I like to think that the ones that I put out so far have been good and getting better. You know? But yeah. So somehow I'm always late, but I'm right on time. Can't make this stuff up. I show up saying exactly what I need to say when it's time to say it, and life just so happens to put delays and expedience in the way towards making me get to where I need to be in order to say what needs to be said when it needs to be said. Always late, but right on time. It's funny, I was talking to my friend earlier. I was talking about being in the flow of life. A lot of people are able to reach flow state in different disciplines. You know, athletes reach flow state in whatever sport they're given to. Say, for instance, a boxer like Mike Tyson. What made him so great is that he wasn't being formulaic. He was so disciplined in what he did that by time he was in a situation to execute, his body, his training, his ability to read the situational placement of bodies and opponents within the ring, it made it so that he knew when to lunge. He knew when to bend down to get full power in his shots. Use those massive quads to leap into that knockout blow. When you're disciplined and you surrender, you reach flow state. And for me, I happen to sort of live in this perpetual flow state. Kind of glide through things. I glide through life. You see me walking through a room and you don't know what to make of me. You're like, why does he walk like that? I glide like a gazelle of sorts. Some would say. But yeah, I move with flow. I talk with flow. I think with flow. I'm in the flow of life and the flow of reality. Never on time, but never late. It's not about me, though. You see, the reason why I even mentioned this is because flow state is what everybody should be aspiring to achieve, not just in certain disciplines, but in all things. You know, you want to reach a point where you are so in a state of symbiosis with the context and environment you're performing within that you form a sort of natural ebb and flow. You have a natural equilibrium state for when something is, ahead of the curve or ahead of the time or behind the time. You ever driving down the road? You ever driving down the road and you see somebody who's going 15, 20 miles below the speed limit, oblivious to what's happening around them, just sort of lost in their own world? You ever catch up to them and try to see what they look like and see what they're doing? If it's not an old person, then it's a person on their phone. They're sort of lost in the idea of them, lost in the idea of, this story they're acting out in which they're the star. And if you're an older person, then, your reflexes may have fallen off a bit, but even in that, you're still performing within a story divorced from reality. But when you're divorced from reality, you lose sight of the context around you. You lose sight of the environment around you. And it applies the same thing when you're walking in the store and you see people just oblivious to the space around them. They will be dead in the middle of the aisle with their cart turned, like, just blocking the entire aisle on their phone. Not moving with a sense of purpose, just sort of listfully grazing by, ignorant to the fact that they are an obstruction. They're not in the flow of life. They're not in the flow of awareness. They're not in the flow of reality. They're not in the flow of anything. They're lost in their inner story. They're lost in this fiction wherein everything revolves around them and everything moves around them, and all they have to do is march to the beat of their own drum. It becomes problematic. Imagine a system full of beings, ignorant to the system, ignorant to each other performing within the system, and solely consumed by their desire to feel important and to sort of get lost in these movies of themselves that they are watching play out through social media and the respective devices they use to entertain themselves. Wild, right? They're not in the flow of life. A person driving on the road, not paying attention to traffic around them, sort of lost, texting on their phone, or daydreaming, or trying to be the what do you call that? Speed check people, be the speed patrol, the speed control patrol. Not knowing what's happening behind them. Not caring what's happening behind them, just wanting to be an obstruction, wanting to compete against someone trying to get around. Everyone is lost in their inner story. Everyone is lost in their inner sense of justice. Everyone is lost in their desire to feel superior to others and to self-idealize. Worship them. You see, when you're lost in the inner story, you're detached from the world around you. When you're detached from the world around you, it's impossible to be in the flow of what's happening in the world around you. If you're not in the flow of what's happening in the world around you, well, then you can't reach flow state in life now, can you? So it works mechanically. When you reach that other level. I'm flat tonight, man. But yeah, that's the way it works. Flow state. When you're in flow state, when you're dialed into a reality, you have a heightened sense of awareness. Your intuition, which again is a sensory faculty. It's a sensory faculty that allows you to experience reality and to tap into reality from beyond the limits of your mortal coil, from beyond the limits of your physical being. That's what intuition is. It's a gut feeling that dials you into reality. When you're very intuitive, when your faculty of intuition is well developed, you perform beyond the limits of you in all ways. You perform beyond the limits of you. So, something to tell you, don't go down this road. And you'll get a gut feeling, that's not for me. You get a gut feeling, that's not for me. What was that? And then you find out later, oh man, I'm glad I didn't go down that road. It was an axe murderer down there who was killing people left and right. What was that voice that told you not to go down that road? What was that thing in you that performed beyond the limits of your mortal being, that gave you sight beyond sight, that gave you wisdom beyond your own? What was that? Intuition is a sensory faculty. It connects you to reality. The more you practice reasoning and honesty is the more you develop this sensory faculty. That's the way it works at a mechanical level. So every person, it's always in every person's best interest to practice reasoning and honesty towards developing intuition, because it's like an added tool. It's an essential tool. If you don't have intuition, it's like walking blind. Ironically, narcissism, aggression, and competition, they cloud intuition. And even though you may be able to reach flow state at a sort of local level, 9 times out of 10, they prevent you from, even though you may be able to, did I say intuition? Even though you may be able to hit flow state at the local level, those things, they prevent you from hitting intuition at a higher level. They prevent you from hitting, flow state at a higher level, at the level of reality. Oh, Brother Absurd, he's absurd the word. I forgot to say that in my last podcast. Absurd the word. The podcast before last. What's up with you, boy? What you got? Let me see. How do we transfer our ability to enter flow state from, say, music or conversation to more of our everyday life? Ooh, that's a good question, man. And I'll say it like this. It goes back to this one principle that I'm going to co-sign that was given to me in the way of word modeling by my homeboy Medina down from Atlanta. It's like when you go into the gym, you're not training your body. You're not training to learn how to fight. You're training your eyes. You're training your eyes. When you reach a certain level of mastery, when you reach that other level, I love saying that shit. When you reach that other level, man, it's kind of like a members only club. You get your jacket. You reach flow state with music, but I mean, like, you have to reach flow state, like the higher levels of flow state of music. When you hit like super conductor, then all of a sudden you're part of the members only club. When you're part of the members only club, you can transfer your ability for flow state in one medium to all of them. So far as I've witnessed. So far as I've witnessed. So yeah, it's wild. I'm fighting sleep right now. I'm tired. I'm kind of checked out right now. But even still, even though I'm not in it, I'm in it. I was downstairs making some king trumpet mushrooms, right? I put them in a no chicken marinade, and I forgot to add my oil in. I wasn't paying attention. I was just sort of checking for flavors and wasn't thinking about emulsifiers or what had to happen in order for this to cook well inside the oven. And I messed up. I messed up because I wasn't paying attention. I was focused on other things. And normally when I'm cooking, I'm in a flow state. I wasn't in flow state when I made that. Still turned out all right. I mean, like it's good. The flavors are good, but it's like, now the place has a little bit of a smell to it. It'll air out. But yeah, when you start thinking, or when you're distracted, you're not in flow. So to answer your question more directly, when you are, you transfer it from music, you transfer it from speaking, you learn how to transfer it from one medium to the other, to another, by simply becoming so proficient in what you do and pushing yourself to such levels of mastery that you get the eyes, you can see it in a person's eyes. You've reached a level of mastery. You're transcendent. You're not limited by medium. You're not limited by flesh. You're not limited by anything other than whatever you think your limitations to be in the moment. I used to do these podcasts with coffee. I miss my coffee. Since I've gone vegan again, it's like, it's a little harsh on my stomach because it doesn't have other toxic substances in me to sort of meld with. So I've been doing these without coffee. Today would have been a perfect day for coffee because, as you can see in the fatigue in my eyes, I'm sleepy, man. I still got shit to do before I'm done with the day. But even though I'm not in it, I'm in it. Even without the coffee, I'm in it. I used to think coffee, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to mess up without the coffee here to guide me, or not guide me, but to keep my mind hyper-focused so I can do the damn thing. Yeah. Lo and behold, I stopped doing it with coffee, and at least in my view, I think I started doing better. When you reach that other level. I'm flat today. So what's up with y'all, man? How y'all doing tonight? Hope all of y'all doing good. I don't know why I started talking off on that particular subject, but you know what? I mean, shit. I'm just trying to answer some questions for y'all, and hopefully it's like, I don't mess up too much. Man, it's been a wild couple of weeks. It's been a wild couple of weeks. Every time you start to build, you fall down. Every time you make a few steps forward, you get dragged back. And then when you're not expecting to make any steps at all, you get shot forward. And through it all, somehow you're still right on time. When you move at the level of the system, not the social system, but the meta systems, you may be ahead or behind in society, but in reality, you are right on time, even when you're socially late. That's my experience. Oh man, so what to talk about? Man, it's crazy shit happening on going happening in the world right now. I hate when I'm talking and I get like to a fork in words that I'm going to use to explain a concept that's come to me in the moment. So it's like, if you ever hear me split words or say a word that doesn't like sound like a word but sounds like a part of two words, it's, it's because in my effort to convey myself, I settled on two words or two word paths to explain the same concept. And in doing so, I'll run into that fork and I'll be like, so the guy was oh, man. Interesting days. Interesting days. So, yeah, y'all might be getting tired of looking at my ugly mug every week. That's cool. My goal isn't to be popular, is to be effective. And who knows, for the handful of y'all who tune in, this actually might be something you gain benefit from. I was talking to my buddy again. The reason why I got to the point about talking about flow state earlier is because a lot of people, they look at building things the wrong way. They look at learning things the wrong way. A lot of people want to be in shape, right? They want to be in shape, but they want to do it because of how they'll look. It doesn't seem bad, but look at almost any athlete and their body is built like a statue. Now, do athletes, especially like performance athletes, not necessarily body sculptors or CrossFit people, but do performance athletes, do they have bodies that are statuesque? Yeah. Why? Is it because they try to make their bodies statuesque? No. They're driven towards a purpose. Their bodies looking the way that their bodies do is happenstance to them pursuing a greater purpose. You ever look at a female pole vaulter? You look at her ass, her cakes, or a sprinter or something like that. It's amazing. Just beautiful for no reason. The calves, the thighs, the quadriceps, the buttocks. Just, it looks delicious. It does. It does. And you're looking at it and you're like, man, I wonder how many years she spent, or how much money she spent trying to get her ass done. Or no. Her body looks the way that it does as a byproduct of pursuing a goal. Same with male athletes for females, or men who are into them, or vice versa. You know how it goes. The people look this way because they were pursuing a purpose. The look is happenstance to function and form. How did they get their body to sort of, I guess, develop in the way that it did? By pursuing flow state in their sport. They practiced something so many times, that they couldn't miss. Even in like magic, like with illusionists like Shin Lim. They practice doing things so many times that by the time they present what they've been practicing for years, it looks effortless. Discipline and surrender. And by surrender, I mean letting go of self-doubt and trusting the amount of work that you put into a particular discipline. It gets you those results. Hell yeah. Yo, I got anybody else out there in the in the peanut gallery. Anybody? No. We're just gonna have a show talking, random. I was expecting to answer some more questions. Maybe Brother Absurd is on the line with your boy. But yeah, it's like, before I get too far off topic again, the main thing that I was saying was, it's like what I was explaining to my friend was, doing exercise and things of that nature. You're not trying to. You have to change the paradigm. So instead of trying to lift weights in order to get bigger arms, change your mind. Like, I want to be able to lift this amount of weight by this time period. Right? I want to say in 4 or 5 weeks, or 3 or 4 weeks, I want to be able to arm curl 100 pounds. Right? You're not focused on the look, which is an idea. You then become focused on the result. The look is happenstance to the result of achieving your goal. When you are purpose-driven, you can accomplish so much more than you can when you're ideal-driven. For instance, my ex-wife and I, she used to try and get me to work out with her. She used to get me in the gym and try and get me to work out with her. And it was cool. I mean, that's my people, right? But the problem is, she always wanted to do shit that was timed. Now, timed stuff sucks to me. I hate. So, if I'm on a treadmill and I'm only running a mile, and even if I'm only running a mile for like 7 minutes, a 7-minute mile, it's torture. Why? Because my mind is not on a real location. It's on an imaginary location. The location is in idealism. It's not in reality. If I'm running for an hour, that's an imaginary location. And I say this because it's like, we used to work out when we was out in California. We used to work out in the gym, and I would struggle to make it a mile, 2 miles on the treadmill. But there was a park that was like 5 miles away from where we lived at the time. And I could run to that park and run back nonstop. I do 10 miles without stopping because I was going to a destination. I had a purpose. I had a goal. I had a real location that I was going to, not just some idea. So it's like any sort of exercise where it's like, do this for X amount of minutes. I'm not even thinking about that. I hate that shit because it's not real. But if someone says do 100 push-ups, oh yeah, that's a real destination. I can do that. It becomes something that, like, that ideal thing. It doesn't work to me. It doesn't work. And I'm not just making it about me. I think that for most people who struggle with such things, like even with things like let's say scholastics. A lot of people struggle with math, using these sort of modal paths. If you understand what math is basically using modal paths to get from one quantitative location to another, and or to get 2 or more quantitative locations to converge on a singular point. So it's basically using maths is basically using mental mapping tools to get from one location to another, and or create a route of processing through which how would I say that? A starting point gets transformed into a product. Let me see. Not a starting point. What are the words? How would I say that? So that a raw material in the form of a presented number or collection of numbers passes through a sieve, or sort of like a factory or a process towards becoming a product on the back end. I could have probably said that better. Again, reading principles. You gotta figure out how to sort of dial in those language models. I'll figure out a better way to say that shit. But that's what maths is. And a lot of people, they suck at math. A lot of people suck at math because so much of it is based in idealism. But you'll get them into a wood shop, and then they have a practical application for math, and all of a sudden they're a genius. Or people who were bad at math in school, they become computer scientists because they have a practical application for math, or they become, they can become accountants or any of those other things. Being purpose-driven in reality is very different than chasing an idea. So yeah, man, it's the way it works. It's the way it works. When you want to exercise, don't chase a shape, don't chase a body shape. Chase a goal. A way that you want your body to be able to perform within a given context. Want to be able to reach flow state in a specific type of discipline. So let's say you want to be a runner. Don't run because you want to get those miles in. Run until your legs get comfortable running and feel strong enough to run to the point that you can enter flow state in running. Want to play tennis? Don't play tennis to beat somebody. Play tennis to the point that you enter flow state where your body understands the spacing of the court and what a person's hand looks like when it's positioned a particular type of way, so that you can respond to it in contest. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times people are motivated towards things by ideas and not by purposes. And if you're motivated by things, or motivated towards things by ideas instead of purpose, your interest can wane. The amount of effort you pay towards things can come up short. You can stop. You can. The whole idea, chasing ideas will get you lost every time. Now, chasing function or purpose, or chasing flow state within a given discipline, you can achieve flow state. And when you achieve flow state, guess what? Everything else comes along with it. Everything else comes along with it, man. So, yeah. Don't chase the idea. Chase function and ability and flow, and you'll get everything that you wanted through the idea anyway. Yeah. Don't chase looking like the don't be like Kanye, chasing the cool sound, chasing cool sounds. And I won't say Kanye because he's done some decent work through the years. Let's say it's a lot of people here. There's a lot of artists. They chase the cool sounds. They chase sounding cool. And if they chase being authentic and actually making really good songs sound cool anyway. You know what I'm saying? Really good songs sound cool anyway. Don't chase cool. There are some people, like I was talking with my brother Parker last night. He's naturally cool. I don't chase cool. I don't chase cool because cool isn't necessarily me. But it's like when I'm staying in my lane and I'm doing my thing, then by default I'm kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? You're never gonna, when you're chasing an image, you will always come up short. When you are chasing ability, you end up with the image. Which will you choose? Yeah, man. So what's up with y'all? Nobody? No, I got no watchers tonight. Oh man, I'm so tired. How do I keep my eyes open? Man, it's been an interesting week, man. Interesting couple of weeks, actually. But apparently it's all coming together the way it's supposed to, so I can't be mad. I can only be grateful. It's Pretty good. Pretty good. Anyway, shit. What else to talk about? All right. So, yep. That's what we're on. That's what we're on. Um, man, it's like I guess I really am that tired. Wow. It's like normally it's like I can flow into something else, but I wanted to leave this one open for live and active conversation. See if there were some questions I can answer for anybody out there. You know, all too often I have people inbox me and they have all sorts of questions. And I try to answer as many of them as I can. And, you know, it takes a while sometimes to get back to people. But when I do, I think I do a pretty good job of sort of giving the layout according to how I understand it. But I love an opportunity to answer some questions in real time. So, yeah. And if not, then that's fine. It's totally fine. You know, I have a commitment to be here Mondays and Wednesdays, and that's my job. So, yeah. There's a little foggy haze in my head right now. It's telling me to sleep. Oh, man. So, this might be a dud. This might be a dud podcast. I guess I have one of those every now and again. But, man, what can you say, man? Every day I'm grateful. Every day I'm grateful. I know a lot of people don't believe in God. It's probably even fewer who believe that God is how I describe it. Living, sentient, self-aware system. You know? But when you're in the flow of reality, let me tell you this. Most days you feel grateful. Of course, you're going to come across days where you feel depleted and tired. You're going to come across times when things seem exceptionally unfair and the payoff doesn't seem to match the effort you've poured into being what, where, how, and why you are. But the secret to functioning within reality, the secret to being in flow with reality is to operate from a space of gratitude. You know, a lot of times we get it in our minds that, you know, we can act our way through gratitude. We can pretend to be grateful and we can say things like, oh, we're so grateful. Oh, thank you. But not really feel real gratitude. Let me ask you something. When's the last time you found someone who was in your life who just made a positive impact on you and for no reason just said, I love all of the value you bring to my life. Thank you. When's the last time you just operated from a space of genuine and pure gratitude? Brother Absurd comes in. I appreciate you doing this while fatigued and basically live streaming your experience performing through fatigue. The way it connects to so many aspects of life is it's incredible. Pardon me. It's scary, but I want to give it a try. Yes, yeah. I want to see you give it a try too. I can't wait to see your podcast, bro. It's gonna be fire. But yeah, man, I thank you. You're one of the people I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for you. I'm like, you know what? The world sucks a little less with that guy in it. You know? Sit around and I look at all the people in my life who are actual blessings and who make me feel a sense of gratitude. And oddly enough, gratitude, it becomes the fuel that drives you forward. I don't like to let people down. But more importantly than that, I don't like having to live with myself when I know I didn't give my all. That's discipline, you know. The inner sense of accountability. You know, when you lost that fight because you pulled that punch, and not winning that fight costs more than what you saved by pulling that punch. That inner sense of accountability, man. The discipline, it doesn't let you off the hook. So I pushed through fatigue because even though I probably could have taken off and be like, oh, they're not going to miss me, I made a commitment. I'm doing these Mondays and Wednesdays unless something at the level of reality says you can't do it. Whether or not it goes to an audience or doesn't, I keep my word. And what gives me the energy to keep going, even when I feel like I have no energy to go left, no energy to go with left in me, is gratitude. Gratitude for all the people who reach out and say, man, we love what you do. We appreciate what you've done. Thank you so much. I'm not grateful because they're giving me praise and acknowledgement. I'm grateful because I've been able to positively impact onto their experience and witness it in real time. Of all the work Jesus did during his lifetime, of all the ways in which he was able to go on and impact people's lives who were born generations after he walked the earth, at least the man side of him, and it would never see all that he'd accomplished. And here on social media, I have people around the world who are able to reach out to me and say, you're not completely fucking up, buddy. You're not doing a terrible job. Thank you. We appreciate what you're doing. It's a reason to be grateful. It's a reason to stay focused. Hey, I may not be able to reach everyone, but at least I reached somebody. Thank you, God. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Wild days, man. These are wild days. Oh, we have 43 minutes. Kind of thought there would be more people chiming in. It's weird because it's like I never know how I impact on audiences. I never know. I understand the impact I make on people after the fact, but whenever I'm shooting this on Facebook Live, I don't know how people are taking it. I don't know how they feel it. Might be hit or miss. But irrespective of what my thoughts and views are on how well I perform, somebody shows up like, hey, this is worth watching. Let me see it through to the end. So yeah, man, we get her done. I'm probably gonna have to watch this one back. I have no idea. I'm literally out of it, so I don't even know how this is going. I'm just kind of like, Last time I did that, it's like I went back and watched it back, and I was like, God damn, I actually did pretty good there. Wow. I was watching it, and I was like, I was trying to put myself in the mind of an interlocutor or like you know, just an average viewer, and I'm like, okay, how are they gonna feel this? Are they gonna feel this? And lo and behold, it wasn't terrible. So, yeah, man, getting her done. I feel a little stale today. I feel stale. Am I stale? Maybe. Oh, man. I guess I was kind of... man, you know what? I said that too many times. So, let me see. What were some of the points that I talked about in this? That is the one problem about flow state. You're not operating through memory, so you have to do a lot of reframing. You have to retrace your steps. Talking about flow state, initially talking about flow state, talking about being socially late, but in reality being right on time because, well, the word that you're going to put out, it varies from second to second. And I made a poor sort of, you know, analogy using dice, but we can run that back with, a person getting into their car, going to work and getting into a car wreck on the way to work. If they had left 10 seconds later, or 5 seconds later, even 1 second later, they wouldn't have had the car crash. Somehow they left right on time for that to become their experience in reality. And that's a sort of darker way to look at it, but it's the same principle. Even when I'm late, I'm not. I'm speaking the body of principles as I see them through the word models that come to me in the moment. And 9 times out of 10, it comes together exactly the way it needs to. Through no credit I can take for myself. But yeah. So here we are, man. Shit. I don't think too many people tuned into this episode, but that's all right, man. That's all right. We'll run it back again for as long as I can. As long as I can. I have to bake a cheesecake right now. A lemon bar cheesecake. My brother. I like those things, man. They're actually pretty. That was a good. Who was that? Who created that? That was Brother Parker. Brother Parker. That was your idea. I'm happy. I was able to bring that to life for you. But that joint's a banger, man. It's like people are like, "Oh my God, this is the best cheesecake I've ever had in my entire life. Oh my God!" And I'm like, "Hey, man, I have to help give credit where credit is due." You know. My bro was like, "Hey, can you do this?" And I'm like, "I've never tried. I guess I can." Toss it together, and that joint turned out like flame. why is it like that? Flame. I'm sorry. That was very funny to me. Oh man, good days, man. Good days. Y'all are all right with me, man. I'm gonna tell you something. I like strong people. I love strong people. I love naturally strong people. But you know who I love perhaps even more than strong people? I love weak people who want to be strong and who are willing to do the work to become strong. What I don't like are weak people who want to capture power by taking it from others. If you're naturally strong, we're in the same lane. You're my people. Easy. If you're weak and you want to be strong, you're in my lane. Easy. I'm going to help empower you. But if you just want to look strong and you want to feel powerful, but only by virtue of stealing power from others, then I don't like you. Reality does not like you. That is a true sign of corruption. It's not bad to be weak. It's bad to be cowardly. Coward doesn't want to face or deal with reality, so they'd much rather create spaces wherein they can capture false power. If you're a person who wants to be strong for real, you get at me, and I'm going to help you get strong. That much I promise. To the very best of my ability. For whatever time will permit, for whatever life will permit, If there's a way for me to empower you, God damn it, I'm there. I'm all in. But if you just want to be a coward and you just want to pick on people and feel superior to people, because you're too scared to face a reality in which you're not enough, then we got problems. We got problems. If you'd much rather tear the next man down than build yourself up, you're corrupt. And we have problems. If you'd much rather take from someone who's weaker than you than work to acquire something or some level of proficiency on your own, then we have problems. But if you're unskilled and you want help developing skills, your boy got you. If you're not physically powerful, you want someone to stand beside you and help you get physically powerful, your boy got you. I got you. I love you for being brave enough to be like, hey, I need help. I love you for being honest enough to be like, hey, I ain't got it. I need help. But if you try to fake your way to potency and power through bravado and by taking your anger and frustrations out on others and taking from others and exploiting them, then we don't rock. You're not my people. You can become my people if you drop that shitty, toxic, goddamn corrupt attitude and outlook. You can become my people, but as of right now, you're on the wrong side of the X. You're on the wrong side. At the core of what you are, you know such behavior is wrong. At the core of what you are, you know such attitudes are toxic and highly, highly corrupt. If you choose to nurture that sort of aggression and competitiveness and narcissism within you, you make an enemy of reality itself. Reality has to purge you. Conversely, if you take upon yourself the task of actually making yourself strong enough to enter flow state, then reality rewards you. Look at it like this. Reality rewards effort. It's a simple principle. Reality rewards effort. Let's say let's say you try to lift a heavy rock, or let's say you clear out a field. You clear out a field, you drink some water, and you're sore the next day. Oh my God. The day after that, guess what? You have stronger joints, you have stronger muscles. You put forth that effort, and reality rewards you. If you're a couch potato, right? If you're a couch potato and you're like, yo, I'm going to sit back here and I'm going to be comfortable. I'm just going to be comfortable. And guess what? Your body starts falling to shit. Everything starts sort of crumbling down and yeah. And you're like, hey, I'm going to get up and I'm going to get in motion. Well, guess what? When you get up and you get in motion, reality starts rebuilding your body. Saying, hey, because you tried, I'm going to make you stronger so that you're able to do more tomorrow. Because you tried, I'm going to help you so that you're able to do more tomorrow. This is the way that it works with honesty. You tried to be honest. You tried to be honest and you came clean about some shit, and then all of a sudden, reality's like, that took bravery. You were honest, which took bravery, so guess what? I'm going to reward you with more bravery so that you can face things easier moving forward. Every time you put in effort, reality rewards your effort. Every time you go the path of least resistance and complacency, why? You damage and erode yourself in reality. This is the way it works at a mechanical level. You don't even have to accept the framing of reality I've supplied thus far. This is something you can observe in real time. Reality rewards effort. I wouldn't say punishes, but it awards consequences, negative consequences, to those who choose comfort and complacency. Take that to the top of society. Everybody who's sort of riding with the stories that they've been spoon-fed through their respective cultures and whatnot. People who are doing the laziest thing, just trying to make themselves comfortable. They are racking up massive consequences in reality. Massive. Like as the seconds pass, massive. It's terrible. Those who are in those ranks who step forward and like, guys, this is wrong on every level. I'm not going to be part of it. You step forward, you do the honest and brave thing, and guess what? In the same way reality rewards the person who puts forth the effort to get stronger, reality rewards the one who steps forward in an effort to sync up with it. We each get to choose. Anywho, it's 57 minutes in, and I did not get a ton of interaction tonight, but it's all right. I'm out of sight. It's your man Donald King, guys. Y'all already know what it is. We go to the ticker right now. I call this sorting and sourcing principles. I think that's what I was initially going to call this podcast, because that's what I do as Avatar. You're separating principles from social principles, from social concepts and meanings that don't actually match the principles. And then I do the same thing where I separate social principles from principles of reality and or natural organization. In idealism, everything bleeds together. In reality, things represent separate systems and everything is sort of mechanically organized. Therefore, yes, we are sorting and sourcing principles, sorting them out, sourcing them to the frames to which they belong. But yeah, you see me shooting this on Facebook Live. You can also check me out on Instagram. You can check me out on YouTube, for which I post all of this content and all of these podcasts. So you can scroll through at your time. This is podcast episode 55. Wow, it's crazy. I'm looking forward to running back another one with more people in the area. Hey, if you're in the Dayton area and you actually want to sit down and shoot a podcast with your boy, I come to you, man, and we can politic and parlay. I'm happy to sit down and chop it up with you and get you on camera and let people see what you're all about. You know what I'm saying? So let's rock it and politic it that way. Bop bop. You also know that it's like I post content to Medium. Let me see. My brother Bone NG comes in. To being honest to myself, purely and soulfully, has always been a dreadful deterrence, a gravest sin, despite all the confessions in a box. Yeah. Hey, first of all, I'm proud of you for even mentioning that, brother. I'm proud of you for even mentioning that. Look, honesty is scary. Honesty is the individual's will and effort to recognize and sync up with reality. It takes real bravery to be honest with yourself. Imagine it like this. Imagine you married. Imagine you're married or you got a girlfriend or something like that. And, you have this sneaking suspicion that she's having an affair on you. She's cheating on you. Imagine you got it in your mind that she's cheating on you. And one day, out of the blue, you decide to go home early from work. And you get to the door and you see someone's car in the driveway. And it's not yours. And it's not hers. And you open the bedroom door, not the bedroom door, you open the house door and you go in and you see clothes strewn on the floor. leading back to the bedroom. And as you start following the clothes strewn on the floor leading back into the bedroom, why, you hear moans. And they're your wife's moans. And moans coming from another guy. Now, in that moment, you have the choice of honesty or retreating from reality. You can open the door and confront the situation, or you can leave home, get back in your car, go to work, and pretend like you didn't know any of it was happening. If you open that door, you stand to lose everything. You stand to lose the woman you love, who you built a home and a family with. You stand to lose it all. If you retreat, then maybe you can spend the rest of your life pretending like you didn't know that she defiled your home and had gone behind your back and created a circumstance that brings all sorts of imbalance to your home life. You have a choice. You choose bravery and confront the situation, or cowardice and retreat from it. Standing outside that door, do you open the door or do you walk away? See, if you're angry, your first thought is like, oh, I'm going to open the door. But what happens if something takes away your anger? What happens if, there's some type of justice, perceivable justice in what she's done? You have to face the fact that your family structure is broken. Do you confront it or walk away? To open that door takes bravery. To walk away is cowardly. But you get to choose. Pretending like something isn't there won't make it go away. You know how many people go well out of their way to try and pretend that I'm a fraud? I'm faking, making all this avatar stuff up, even though they watch me day in and day out demonstrate that I'm something other than what they've encountered and interacted with to date. Pretending stuff isn't there doesn't make it go away. Doesn't make it any less real, doesn't make it any less potent, and you get to choose. You step into it and see what's what, or retreat from it and pretend like it's not there. If you can admit to yourself that you are scared of being honest, you're closer to being honest than any person who can't. It takes bravery to say what you just said. It's commendable from my end. But yeah, that's the way it works. Honesty and bravery are mutually inclusive things, and both are practiced. You practice facing down things that make you feel insecure and uncertain. You practice that shit. Just like you practice retreating from things that make you feel insecure and uncertain. But both practices represent choices you make. And that's how it goes. Guys, if you get any sort of benefit out of what I do and you want to bless your boy with a little love, y'all can always Salt Bay me at Cash App at Dunna King. You can also join the Patreon family at Avatar Cycle XIII. That's Avatar Cycle 13. All proceeds go to building this up to a larger platform. Yeah, and I want to reach as many people as I can while I'm still in this body. Don't know how long I'm going to be in it, but I want to be as effective as I possibly can, and anything I can do to try and Reach that other level. I'm gonna keep doing that. Anything I can do to reach that other level. I ain't too proud to beg. I can't do TLC right now. My falsetto is off. Man, these allergies, man, they starting in already. It's wild. Forgot that about the Midwest. But so anywho, man, look, for those of y'all who tuned in with your boy tonight, I greatly appreciate you. I thank you kindly. Hopefully this wasn't a dud episode. If it was, I promise I got you on a better one next go round. We'll hook it up. I'm about to run it back with the bros, man. With a couple of different sets of people, actually, man. I actually want to link with my brother Donald Jones on one of these, man. So it's like, hopefully you catch this, bro. And man, we can rock. I wanna shoot with you, bro. It's gonna be fire. Actually, a couple of y'all, man. Shit, I'm trying to hang out with all my people in the Dayton area. Anybody who down to hang out with your boy, you hit me up. I got you. We gonna get her done, son. So yeah, it's what it is. It's what it is. Anyway, I hope y'all have a wonderful night. It's your man. I'm out.